Hello guys, and welcome to this week's video. This week I thought I'd take some of my favourite characters from some of my favourite video games that I grew up with and take these character designs and redesign them. This is a really fun exercise and I highly recommend anyone to do it. And the way I'm doing this is sort of like a scrapbook method where I'm taking the original design and taking aspects of the original design, using new things to inspire it and kind of like redraw the overall piece. The first one I'm going to be doing here is the Great Fairy from Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. Now this game I absolutely fell in love with. I would draw the characters non-stop, I'd play the songs, I was obsessed with it, and still to this day it's one of my all-time favourite games. I really love the Great Fairy. She did scare me a little bit when I was much younger because I found like her stare to be very intense, but overall her design is really beautiful. So I decided to take aspects and colours of the original design and make her seem a little bit more earthy by adding a lot more leaves and vines around her design. I also decided that I was going to get rid of the boots that she was wearing and go for a more natural fairy-ish kind of design. Like I will be doing with most of these characters, I'll be keeping the essence of what these characters are, but I'll just be slightly tweaking and redesigning certain aspects so that they kind of fit in with what I would approach. Even though a lot of these characters have been redesigned and HD remade and touched up, I don't know, I kind of imagine them in slightly different ways, and this is an excellent way to practice character design, taking character designs from the past and redrawing them to what kind of clothing, what kind of aspects, what you imagine them to be. For me, I personally feel like the Great Fairy in the Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time is a very natural design, and what I mean by this, she has a lot of leaves in her design. You come across her and she's just she seems like this ethereal creature, so I tried to recreate that in the design. I also really wanted to keep the original colours, but I wanted to add more green into her skin tone and make these colours pop a little bit more. I also decided to add eyebrows because for me, I prefer a character. I think sometimes a character can kind of look scary without eyebrows, and I think this really helped soften her expression quite a bit. She has this really, I can't explain it. The laugh used to really freak me out. I don't know what it was. It was something about the laugh tone, and it would really make me go, oh no. And but at the same time, I feel like she's a bit of a mischievous spirit. I don't know. I really do love the fairy designs in the Legend of Zelda series. In particular, I am obsessed with the Breath of Wild designs. I think they're absolutely beautiful. I really love the Wind Waker designs. I have a lot that I really do play to the Legend of Zelda series as a whole, because even in the older games and the newer games, I absolutely love the character designs. They inspired me a lot. Are there any games that you guys were visually inspired by when you were younger? Anything that you can think of that stands out today that you just, every time you think about it, it just inspires you to draw? And this is something that I would kind of like to do as a series of videos where I take some of my favourite character designs and redesign them and tweak them to what outfits I would personally like, or retweak the designs a little bit. One of the designs I'd really love to tweak is Garnet from Final Fantasy IX, because I love her character so much, but her outfit always bugged me. Don't know why, it always bugged me, and I just really want to redesign it so badly. So with the keeping in theme with the old design, I decided to go with the a bit more softer tones within the skin tone. She does have a very pink skin tone, so I decided to add a lot more green tones to that to make her seem like she was a bit more fairy-like in a way. Plus to really complement the pink as well, I added a bit of pink tones in there to soften out the very vibrant pink hair that she's got. If you notice that I keep flipping the page, this is because this is in a Pink Pig sketchbook and it holds markers quite well, but they can bleed through on the other page, so I have a piece of paper underneath so then it doesn't bleed through. Just a tip for anyone who is drawing, I highly recommend drawing on elevated surfaces. I miss having my drawing table set up because we don't quite have the room for it in my current flat, but elevated surfaces can really help you when it comes to perspective and character design, because I find if I draw on a flat surface and then lift the piece of paper up, I can see every single anatomy error that I have done. I find that by drawing on a slightly elevated surface, this can really help see those issues, because when you're drawing flat down, you have a sort of like skewed look of the piece of paper. So by elevating that piece of paper, you're kind of, I don't know, eliminating that sort of aspect of it. It's just something that I've it's something that I've always tried to do. That's why you'll always see me with a folder underneath my desk, and I'll try and like elevate it a little bit. Right now it's not at the angle I quite would like to draw at, because I normally like to draw at a 45 to 60 degree angle, just because it really helps you with your like looking at your piece of paper. So I do suggest trying it out. It really will help. It will just help understand a little bit better, because like I said, when you've got the piece of paper flat down, it kind of warps your perspective a little bit. So this piece ended up being less exercise in character design and me going, oh, I'm really getting carried away with it. Ideally, the way you should do a character design is not the way I've executed it in this piece very well. If you're going to do a character design, ideally you want a character standing, a character turnaround, slight turnaround, so a side and a back piece, as well as expressions. On the next piece that I do, I execute that a little bit correctly, but I find myself getting a little bit carried away with a piece and really wanting to do something like massive and over the top, when in theory, it's a character design piece. You should be showing your workings out. It's interesting. But yes, this is the final looks of the Great Fairy. As you can see, I kept to her colour schemes a lot. I just tweaked it to make parts of her seem a little bit more natural, adding a lot more ivy, because that was really inspired in her outfit a lot, and giving her flower crown a bit more definition. Originally was only going to do twin tails, but I ended up doing the 3 just to call back to that design. I don't know, I think it's okay. What do you guys think of my redesign? What do you think? But now, let's go on to the next one, which is the Queen of all Fairies from Wind Waker. Now, going on to this, you'll see yet again, I've done the scrapbook format of where I've chosen a few pictures of the overall design and a few inspirational things that I'm going for. I'm going to stick to the glass design with the herb. I'm going to try and make it feel a little less, to put it politely, this character design freaked me the heck out when I first played this game. I did not like her design. Something about her really unnerved me. And I think it is the fact that she does have a very vacant stare, but it's also to do with like the proportions in the face and the fact that her eyes are very open. I find that if you soften the facial shape just a little bit more, and by softening the eyes, by not making them so big, which is a trait that is in Wind Waker, which by the way is a beautifully character designed game. Like if you have a chance to look at some of the character designs in that game, I do highly recommend it. They have some really beautiful designs overall. So I tried to keep it very similar to the original design. I didn't change a massive amount. All I really wanted to work on was softening her face more than anything. Just because I find that it was her facial construction that was weirding me out the most. So I tried to soften her face by giving her a rounder appearance and making her eyes a little bit smaller, and I slanted them just a touch and made her look like she had smiling eyes, because the problem is with a lack of pupils, that is gonna make a design seem creepy no matter what, but you can soften that by giving an eye a slight crinkle, as if they are smiling. And this is a trick that a lot of statues have to make a statue seem not as creepy. They soften the eye shape and soften the facial construction, just so then it doesn't seem as like jarring when you see it. Overall, Wind Waker, is another one of my all-time favorite games. I played Ocarina of Time and Wind Waker on the GameCube non-stop when I was a kid. I didn't have an N64. We couldn't afford an N64, but when I had a GameCube, I played these games to the ends of the earth. I absolutely loved them, and they really inspired me a lot. I like Wind Waker because it's cartoonish design, it's really beautiful, really colourful. I love some of the character designs in it, and like all the shapes that they use. And in Ocarina of Time, it really inspired me for stories, and I really loved a lot of the designs, and the HD remakes of both of them are just absolutely beautiful. And I'm just going to keep singing its praises because I absolutely love them. I do love a lot of the Legend of Zelda series, and I find that they influenced my work personally a lot. So here what I am showing is just my workings out of the rough character design, a little bit better than what I did with the previous one. I always find that if you have a solid idea of what you want to do, even if you know exactly what you want to do, sometimes it's good to try out a few different things, so then you can branch out and try a few different ideas before you go to the final product. Yet again, these are all very similar designs. The only thing I was trying out was slightly different hairstyles, slightly different facial constructions, just to see if that would fit the design better. And after I'd done that, I got another piece of paper and I finalised my design. Like I said, I just wanted it to look a little bit softer, a little bit more... because she is very childlike, I wanted that sort of like childlike wonder to come across in the design. I don't think it's the most executed design I could have done. I probably should have sketched out a few more ideas and tried out a few things, but like I said, I'm not aiming to change the designs. The idea is to pay respect to the original design but redesign them for my personal efforts. I just wanted to try it out. I'd love to try out doing the Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, because they're two of my all-time favourite games as well. In fact, all the games that characters I'd love to redesign are characters that I really love. I don't know, I really like video games, I just don't get time to play them. But no, this is a really excellent way for you to try out doing ideas, and I do 100% utterly recommend it. If any of you have tried this exercise, it is a fantastic way to warm up for the day. It's a fantastic way for you to look at something and think, okay, how would I approach that? You're not necessarily saying it's a bad design, you're just redesigning it and seeing how you would approach the same subject. Think of it almost as like an exercise in college, university, art school, or at school. You are taking an existing character design and redesign it. It's like how there's like a million different versions of Alice in Wonderland and Beauty and the Beast. Not two are the same. There is existing ideas and people build on those existing ideas, but there's always aspects of the original idea and original attempt which are always there. And I find that really fascinating to see how people could take the same subject and completely redesign it and completely change it to themselves. It's a fascinating subject for me, really. I don't know, I find stuff like that interesting. The full list of equipment, as always, is listed down below. For the most part, I do end up using a Pink Pig sketchbook and my Pro markers, WH Smith pencils, Unipen fine liners. I use a little bit of my watercolours here just to create a simple background for the character to pop up against. But overall, it's not massively detailed equipment. It was just a fun exercise in character design. I'd really like to fill out this sketchbook with loads of other character designs, and if you have any suggestions, let me know in the comment section down below. I'm always interested in seeing what you guys think, and this is something that I don't normally do, so it was extra fun for me to do and to take something that, you know, and that I haven't done and redesign it was just really, really fun. I had a lot of fun with this. Also, I know it's a theory, but does this character design not remind you of Fee from Skyward Sword? Like, I've heard that there's fairies, and I'm just like, connections. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comment section down below what would you have done if you had a chance to redesign them, and what characters do you love from these two games. As you can see, I have plenty of ideas for other videos I would love to do with the same content, but you know, let me know what you think. I always love to hear what you think. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Make sure to like, comment, and if you're new, subscribe. But as always folks, stay creative.